Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
A lot of potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. You know, because, you know, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
It all starts with shadows, barely there glimpses of a child. Most people have only caught flashes, a flicker in a 2017 post, a blurry frame buried in a 2021 holiday video.
Why the f would you need to sign a don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental?
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm gonna ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Or a blink and you miss it, still from Black is King, where Blue Ivy and Rumi are front and center. But Sir Carter, Beyonce and Jay-Z's son, Rumi's twin, Blue's little brother, he's there, and yet somehow not. He's like a ghost in the background of pop royalty, while Blue runs the world with superstar energy, and now Rumi's stepping into the frame. She's popping up at Super Bowls, starring in Ivy Park shoots, looking more and more like the next one in line. But Sir, he's still in the shadows. And let's be real, this isn't just rare, it feels intentional. Folks in Houston are calling it straight up strategic, and fans everywhere are whispering, digging through old content, piecing together theories. This doesn't look like a kid choosing privacy. This looks planned, controlled, like someone wants him invisible. For 7 years, through world tours, interviews, documentaries, and family photo drops, Sir's been missing in plain sight. So now the question isn't just where is Sir? It's why is he being hidden? And even more chilling, what are they trying to keep from us? Every time Sir's name pops back up, it's coated in polished PR, slick, shiny, and suspiciously vague. Take Beyonce's new whiskey line, Sir Davis. The launch was pure luxury, moody lighting, velvet vibes, and a backstory wrapped in family legacy. She said it was a nod to her great-grandfather, Davis Hogue, a moonshiner with grit. But fans weren't buying the surface-level tribute. Why Sir Davis? Why name it after the one child she never shows? Was it a quiet shout-out to the boy the world keeps asking about? Or just a clever move to keep folks guessing while revealing nothing? One fan didn't hold back, saying, "Ma'am, we need the Sir visuals." But no visuals came, just more branding, more marketing, and zero answers. And that's when things take a turn, because what used to be innocent fan curiosity is now full-blown conspiracy chatter. Whispers from the industry claim that Sir might not even be Beyonce's biological son. Yep.
What I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time.
The old surrogate secret theory is back. It's been floating around since before the twins were even born. Her 2017 pregnancy, way more private than her first one. People pointed out the oddly timed footage, the super-controlled imagery, and that over-the-top Instagram birth announcement that went viral, but somehow skipped every real detail.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real...
Jay-Z once said in an interview that Sir came out like a man like Sir, making the name sound like a title he earned. But insiders noticed. No delivery room leaks, no hospital confirmations, and the only peek into that pregnancy came later, in polished, post-edited documentaries that left fans with more questions than answers. Could it be that Sir was born through a surrogate, and the Carters, determined to keep their picture-perfect image untouched, turned to full-blown theatrics to cover it up? But the whispers go even deeper. Some say Sir might not even be Jay-Z's biological child. A source, reportedly a former assistant turned ghostwriter for a major R&B star, claims that back in 2016, right as Beyonce was rapping Lemonade, a secret deal went down. According to them, Parkwood Entertainment quietly signed paperwork with a fertility agency out in LA, and the timing, it allegedly doesn't line up with what Beyonce's team has told the public.
I don't have no felonies, I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything, so, you know, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
They wanted another boy, the source says, but they didn't want another media circus. So instead, they made it all look like high art, calculated, beautiful, and totally untouchable. Meanwhile, Sir's total absence from huge Carter family moments is becoming way too obvious. Take the Super Bowl. Blue and Rumi were right there, living it up, with Jay-Z proudly posing on the field like a true dad. But Sir, nowhere in sight, not one frame. Then there's Beyonce's GQ interview from this past fall. It painted her as a deeply devoted mom, but when it came to Sir, the piece barely mentioned him. Rumi was hyped up as a creative talent. Blue got praised as a rising force, but Sir, nothing, not even a line. The only real quote about Sir came from Tina Knowles, and it had this strange, distant tone. Sir is very quiet. He does all the numbers stuff. Huh? What numbers stuff? The kid's 7. And since when does being into tech mean you get almost completely erased from your family's public image? Even during one of his infamous online meltdowns, couldn't help but drag Sir into it, taking a wild shot at the kid's mental abilities. It was so low that even Kim Kardashian, who's been dodging public drama with him for years, reportedly saw that as crossing the line. But Ye's messy rant accidentally cracked something open. People started asking the real question.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce.
Why does Sir feel like a mystery? Why does this one child feel like a classified secret? Some fans think the answer's in the Carters' obsession with image control, something they've mastered to a science. Their entire brand is myth-making. From Blue Ivy's studio debut when she was barely 2 days old to Beyonce's now iconic VMA baby bump reveal, every moment is planned like a royal announcement. So when one of their kids keeps getting left out of the picture over and over again, it makes you wonder, is this really about privacy or is there something more? There's a theory going around that Sir might be on the spectrum, and honestly, that shouldn't be a scandal. But in a world built on perfect angles, flawless shots, and elite branding, a neurodivergent heir might not fit the Carter blueprint. Is that why Sir gets name dropped on a whiskey bottle, but his face stays hidden from the spotlight? Something's off, and fans aren't letting it go. Now, let's get into that whiskey, because Sir Davis might mean way more than Beyonce's letting on. She says it's a tribute to her great-grandfather, but fans are starting to think it's a clever distraction, a way to attach Sir's name to something flashy without dealing with his actual life.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Like locking the photo in a vault and just showing off the frame. She even dropped the phrase, "Davis in my bones," in a caption. Was that about honoring her roots? Or was it a low-key confession that this whole brand was designed to redirect attention away from her son? Here's the harsh truth fans are asking now. If Sir had Rumi's charm or Blue's star power, would he be in the shadows? Would he be left out of huge family events, scrubbed from promo shoots, and reduced to a name with no face while his sisters shine? Or is all this secrecy not some random choice, but a clue that something deeper's going on? Look, Beyonce and Jay-Z are master strategists. They never move without a plan. Every shot they release, every lyric they drop, it's all calculated. They've outlived scandals, lawsuits, betrayals, even Ye's chaos. But with Sir?
See, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their songs.
It's been silence over clarity, mystery over meaning, no stories, no spotlight, just shadows. And now fans are starting to feel like something's not adding up, like they've been sold a dream. But behind all the glitz, all the billion-dollar branding, there's a locked-up vault of truth, and we were never meant to get inside. What are the Carters really hiding, and why are they going to such wild lengths to keep Sir completely out of the public eye? Just when things started to cool down, like the whole mystery around Sir had settled into silence, Ye came crashing through as always, swinging with no filter. He ripped the lid right off Pandora's box in the middle of the night, dropping a flurry of now-deleted posts on X around 3 a.m. And this time, he went straight for the Carter kids, pulling their youngest into the madness. His words were messy, loud, and straight-up wild. But if you look past the chaos, some folks think he might have hit a nerve.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
Wait, he wrote. Has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? Number that post vanished quick, but not before it sparked a firestorm of speculation that still hasn't burned out. We've seen this pattern with Ye, flipping between sharp, uncomfortable truths and total social media meltdowns. But let's not forget, he has a track record. He called the Kardashian split before it happened. He blasted the Grammys, then exposed their shady inner workings. So when he starts asking hard questions about Sir and Rumi and doing it with that weirdly focused energy, it makes you wonder, is there something we're not supposed to see? And it wasn't just one tweet either. You posted, deleted, then came back with new versions, all hammering the same message. He claimed the Carters were being controlled, that Sir wasn't just shy or quiet. He was being hidden for reasons way bigger than stage fright or being into schoolwork.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious.
The posts were going fast, but the questions, they're still echoing loud. You didn't stop there. He went all the way off the rails. He claimed artificial insemination was involved, made strange, unsettling hints about mental capacity. And then, in what might have been his coldest moment, called Sir and Rumi products of a system that protects optics over truth. It was harsh, unhinged, but scarily, it lined up with the same kind of carefully controlled silence that's been surrounding Sir since day one. And what if the stakes are way bigger than anyone imagines? There's a persistent rumor that just won't die, something about a secret inheritance clause buried deep in the Carter estate.
The both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That's smooth under the rug.
Why?
According to a former entertainment lawyer who used to handle licensing deals for Roc Nation, there's been talk for years about a private trust tied to performance duties, public image rights, and even family appearances. The clause, if it's real, allegedly limits full access to that massive Carter fortune unless all three kids actively participate in the public-facing Carter brand. Sounds wild, right? But when you compare that to Sir's ongoing disappearance from the spotlight, it starts to feel way less random. Could his silence be costing him? Or worse, was this all part of the plan from the jump? Some believe Sir's kept off the stage to allow flexibility in how the empire gets divided up. If that's true, then we're not just talking about privacy or personality anymore. We're talking about a child's future, tied directly to how visible he is in the media. That's not just strategic, that's deep. Sir's exposure, or lack of it, is starting to look like it's being measured against future checks. In a family where Blue Ivy's already got a Grammy and Rumi's made her way onto the Billboard charts, it's not a stretch to think the quieter twin might be getting benched.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
Simply because he doesn't fit the Carter blueprint for legacy. It's like capitalism in designer clothing. The family framed like a brand, the kids lined up like assets. But listen close, and the cracks are showing. Most of those cracks come from Tina Knowles, the family matriarch, the one who usually speaks when Beyonce stays silent. She's done the rounds. News interviews, red carpet quick chats, glossy sit-downs, and every time she makes sure to mention all three grandkids. But something shifts when she talks about Sir.
Really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over.
With Rumi, she gushes, calling her a star, a force, an artist who won't be denied. When it's Blue, the praise hits almost mythical levels. But when the question turns to Sir, the energy drops. Her words go stiff. Sir is very quiet. He likes books and numbers. She said it twice now, almost word for word, in 2 separate interviews. And in another moment, she let something strange slip. He's not really into fashion yet. He just hung there, awkward, uncertain, like smoke in the air. Was that a hopeful reach into the future, or a nervous backtrack trying to cover something unspoken? We watched her closely in footage from the Remember My Name ball. Tina Knowles was glowing when she spoke about Blue's piano skills. She lit up describing Rumi's art. But once the convo shifted to Sir, everything changed. She crossed her arms, started fiddling with her ring. It wasn't just what she said, it was what she didn't say. There was a heaviness there, a flicker of unease, like she was repeating lines written by someone else. Could Tina Knowles be part of this? Not as the one pulling the strings, but as the protector, the gatekeeper, keeping a fragile story from falling apart. Because when a family builds an empire this massive, when every public appearance, every Netflix doc, every Grammy stage moment is feeding into $1 billion legacy, anything less than perfect becomes a problem. And maybe Sir isn't the problem himself, but he doesn't fit the image. And in this world, that alone could make him a risk. But here's the most chilling thought yet. Maybe it's not about hiding Sir from the world. Maybe it's about hiding the truth about Sir from the world. A source who worked closely on an Ivy Park campaign in 2021 dropped something heavy. They said Sir was originally lined up to appear in a set of matching family shots with Beyonce and the twins. The outfits were picked, the set was ready, everything was good to go. Then suddenly, he wasn't coming, not because of sickness, not scheduling, nothing dramatic, just he's not going to be part of it anymore. That's all they were told. And that silence says everything, no explanation. We weren't even allowed to ask. That phrase sticks to every story about Sir Carter like a shadow that never leaves. And that's what separates this from normal celeb privacy. This isn't about keeping a sensitive kid away from the spotlight. This feels like a blackout, a full-on media lockdown, a planned, coordinated absence. Meanwhile, the public keeps getting symbols instead of something real. We've got a whiskey bottle stamped with his name, lyrics that drop hints about bloodlines and power, captions full of bold words like confidence and legacy. But still, not one recent photo, not even a blurry clip. If the Carters were truly celebrating Sir, wouldn't they show something? A quick video, a family moment, a montage? Instead, we get style over substance and a silence that just keeps getting louder. And there's something else nobody's talking about. For all the rumors, headlines, and hush-hush statements, one major truth gets overlooked. Sir is a twin. In most families, twins grow up as a unit, side by side, matched in outfits, memories, even milestones. But in the Carter world, that whole twin narrative seems to have quietly vanished. Rumi's become the face of the next generation, showing up in Ivy Park shoots praised by Tina Knowles, and now featured on Beyonce's country album. She's everywhere. And Sir, he's drifted further and further into the background. It's not just a visibility gap, it's a psychological split, and it raises serious questions. When a child is left out of the story, how does that shape who they become? Especially when the sibling by their side is getting the world handed to them. Growing up in a media-built house of mirrors, twins usually build their bond on shared attention and being seen together. But when one kid is constantly pushed into the spotlight while the other is left in the shadows, it does more than just mess with public perception. It creates a real imbalance that keeps feeding itself. The world talks about Rumi, so Rumi gets seen more. She's praised, featured, celebrated. Meanwhile, Sir, kept out of view, becomes the center of mystery. And that mystery turns into even more silence, more shielding, more distance. It's a loop that never breaks. We've seen this same pattern in other famous families, where one twin becomes the brand, the public favorite, while the other fades into something symbolic. But with Sir, that symbolism is starting to turn into myth, the missing twin story. It sounds poetic, but it's actually dangerous, especially when a child's well-being becomes more of a puzzle than something real and human. This is where fame cuts the deepest, because celebrity culture doesn't just lift people up and it locks them in. When the world starts placing labels on kids before they even figure out who they are, those labels can turn into cages. And for someone like Sir, those invisible walls might already be closing in. Rumi's the performer, Blue is the legacy, and Sir, he's the question mark, the blank space no one can quite explain. This isn't just about what the Carters choose to show, it's also about what we choose to believe. And maybe that's the toughest truth of all, that by watching too hard, speculating too loud, and cheering too selectively, we might be helping build the same story we're trying to tear apart. So where does that leave us? A media storm kicked off by Ye, a rumored trust clause that might value branding more than belonging, a grandmother repeating lines like she's reading a script, and a child, their own blood, treated like a ghost in his own family narrative. This isn't just about celebrity. This is about control, about what happens when legacy becomes a weapon, and a kid's innocence is turned into currency. And if this pattern keeps going, if Sir stays tucked away while his sisters rise with the family brand, the fallout won't stop at speculation. Kids grow up, they learn, they read the headlines, and they remember who was there and who wasn't. So now we have to ask the one question nobody inside that inner circle wants to answer. Is the Carter family protecting Sir, or are they protecting a secret that could blow their empire wide open? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching, and we want to hear what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and we'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay curious, and keep looking past the lens.